Hi everyone, I'm Tatiana Thompson and this is Brown Bird News. My backyard, just like yours, is getting louder and louder every day, and all of a sudden the pressure is on to get everything ready for the nesting season. Fortunately, nothing has started here yet. The weather has been absolutely horrid. So today it's more or less mild outside and I've got a couple of things that I have to do. The first thing is I'm going to be putting up a hummingbird nesting platform. Yes, there is such a thing. Every year when hummingbirds come back, I try to follow them to find where they build their nests. Alas, they're so tiny I could never find them. So this thing hopefully will help me out. They came in the pairs of 2. Apparently hummingbirds build 2 nests to see which one fares the best. They need to be put up away from the wind, not facing south, and rather close to a hummingbird feeder, at least 18 feet away from the nesting platform. There's also nesting material that you have to attach very close to the platform. And the second thing that I'm doing today is taking down an old birdhouse that's been kicking around for a few years. It's never been used, so the entrance is not big enough and the location I think is not ideal. We've tried it out and it failed, so it's time to take it down. Recently, we've been getting tons of phone calls asking us how to get rid of grackles. And it's true, they all back and they are hungry. Marcy Green writes to Dr. Bird asking the same question. She says that between them and the blackbirds, the birds that she wants to see just don't stand a chance. What do you say, Dr. Bird?
Hi, Marcy. Ah, yes, those much-hated grackles. With their sheer numbers and larger size relative to many of our more desirable feeder birds, common grackles are the birds that are most often causing grief for folks feeding the birds. With their strong bullying behavior around feeders, I often refer to them as the nasty boys. So how does one dissuade them? Well, your first plan of attack is to prevent access to your feeders or food spilled below. For example, use seed and suet feeders that are caged so as to allow only the smaller birds access. Or alternatively, use seed feeders with adjustable weight activated perches that don't allow the heavier grackles to access the seed. Shortening or even removing the perches definitely makes a feeder less accessible to grackles. And keep the ground below the feeders clean, because grackles do love seed spilled in the ground. Your second line of defense is to alter your seed offerings for those periods of the year when grackles are in the area. Use black or hulled sunflower seeds instead of cracked corn or millet, which is especially liked by grackles. Offering Niger seed in the tube feeder or switching to safflower seed totally discourages them. Your third line of defense is to alter the habitat in your yard. Grackles love to nest in thick cedar hedges, so covering your hedge with bird netting or even removing it might keep these rascals from hanging about your yard throughout the breeding season. But despite their bullying nature, grackles do have some good points. Their iridescent plumage is quite beautiful in the sun, and they also exhibit a number of interesting behaviors worth watching. And about a third of their diet is insects, many of them which are bad for your lawn and your plants. And finally, for those of you who despise house sparrows, grackles are well renowned for killing them with their beaks and eating their brains.
For years, people have been speculating about a bird's ability to navigate. A lot of theories have been proposed, like iron in their beaks serving as a magnetic compass. But the most recent one makes the most sense to me. Of course, scientists are still working to prove it 100%, but still, based on studies done on zebra finches and European robins, it's a special protein called Cry4 in birds' eyes that helps them see magnetic fields, and that's how they navigate. Apparently, the levels of this protein increase as birds get ready to migrate. Scientists in Sweden studied over 1,300 bird species to figure out where they all came from originally. It turns out that all those birds came from Africa. Then there was another question, but why did some of the birds migrate? So researchers took a closer look at immune systems of birds that live in Africa all year round, birds that migrate to breed, and birds that stay in northern countries permanently. Since it gets really hot in Africa during summertime and that creates a lot of diseases, some of the birds learn to move away from that danger so they didn't actually have to develop their immune system to withstand such harsh conditions. Then the northern birds also were not really exposed to any dangerous parasites, so there was no need to strengthen their immune systems either. So it turns out because of their exposure to all sorts of diseases and parasites, it's the birds that live in Africa permanently that have the strongest immune systems. You might have heard about an incredibly successful conservation campaign that's been going on since the 1970s to protect Michigan's Kirtland's warbler. I'll give you a quick rundown of the situation. So basically, in the 70s, there were only about 200 pairs of Kirtland's warblers left. This bird is really particular about where it lays its eggs. It can only be jack pine forest after wildfires. And then, of course, the brown-headed cowbirds didn't help the cause by removing the warbler's eggs and replacing them with their own. Thankfully, a number of organizations got involved to help the warbler, and now there are over 2,000 pairs of the Kirtland warblers found not only in Michigan but also in Wisconsin and in Canada. Because of this success, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is now considering removing the warbler off the endangered species list. The public has until July 11th to send in their comments about this move. So if you don't think it's a good idea, please speak up or forever hold your peace. This contest, we have a tie in public voting. Absolutely love it. I would love to actually give feeders to all of you, but a contest is a contest. So let's check out the top 5 in public voting. And these are the 2 winners. Now let's check out the top 5 in staff picks. And here's our winner. Congratulations, everybody. We'll be giving away the Squirrel Buster peanuts. Well, this is all we have for you on this episode. Please don't forget to identify your birds if you enter your pictures in our photo contest, or even if you just share your pictures with us. We're all still learning. Goodbye, everyone.